So before we get into the interview, of course, I have to say congratulations on you getting your star this week.
Thank you.
That was just beautiful. I was able to watch Carrie and her speech, and you had Idris.
Yeah.
Where were you when you first found out, and who was your first call to?
You know, actually, they've been asking me for a while. They've been asking me about 3 or 4 years now to do it. And I just thought, let me just, because I have to wrap my brain around it. Like, for me, it's a huge honor. It's so great. But what is the purpose of it, right? I'm like, what is the purpose of this? How do I rationalize this in my mind? And then when I realized that it was about inspiring somebody else when they see it, knowing they could do it too, that was all I needed to be in. So we planned it around the studio opening and everything else, so it all kind of flowed together.
Speaking of the studio, Steven, your operations manager,
Yeah.
he took us on a tour. This place is huge.
Yeah.
So if I did my math correctly, this place is actually larger than Warner, Paramount, and Walt Disney combined. What made you go so big, and why Atlanta?
Well, I didn't know that.
Yes.
But
Now you know.
The Atlanta was just home for me. When I came here for the first time, I saw black people doing well, and I thought, this is where I want to be. This is where I want to raise my family. This is the town that I want to have my whole life in, and it has been that. I don't know any other city where you can be. Like here, I'm at the studio, and 30 minutes later, I'm at my house out in the country. You know, I love that. So it's just been the promised land for me, for sure.
Okay, well, that's a
And
good
why
answer.
it's so big? It was here, and it was for sale. I'm like, okay, let's go for it.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say that's a great answer. I'm a
Yeah.
budding filmmaker myself, and I live in LA. So I was expecting you, of course, to open a studio there, and then they said Atlanta, and I was like, why Atlanta? But now it makes sense.
Yeah. Not only that, I just feel like you don't have to do what everybody else has done.
Absolutely.
You don't have to go where everybody else is going. You can blaze your own trail and bring your own sledgehammer and make your own way. So yeah.
Absolutely, and I think you do a really good job of that, especially when it comes to selecting talent. You've done it in very unconventional ways. I know Blame It on Quay, of course, you found on Instagram.
Yeah.
And Angela Rigsby said you found her in a Barnes & Nobles.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, that unconventional way of allowing new people into Hollywood, is that intentional or just happenstance?
I don't know if it's deliberate as much as I'm just looking for talent. I go and all the traditional ways of finding talent. You know, you go and you audition and you have to go through your agent. You know, that's great. But in this new world of social media, you can find people anywhere. And walking in and seeing one of my guys walking in and seeing Angela, this beautiful girl who's so full of light. I thought, oh no, we got to figure out something to do with her for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Speaking of talent, I was told that you sometimes shoot up to 90 pages a day. Hollywood isn't even doing a fraction of that. You've got to tell us, what's your secret?
The greatest gift I had is that I wasn't brought up in that system. I don't know how it works. I don't operate inside of Hollywood system. So when I hear 3 pages a day, I'm like, how is that even possible, right? Then I go on other people's movie set and I go, oh, okay. But for me, I don't have to call the studio for an answer. I don't have to call upstairs to a manager to give me an answer on the line. I don't have to call for somebody else to do wardrobe. I'm making all those decisions. So right there, you just cut out 5 hours out of the day. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Now, of course, you speak to Black narratives. That's a given. But you also lean very heavily on women's perspective.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Growing up, my mother, man, my first 10 movies, subconsciously, I was talking to my mother, didn't even know it. But for a man-child, a boy, to watch his mother and sisters and aunts go through all the that kind of stuff at the hands of his sex, it can make you really sensitive to it. So because of that sensitivity and because of what I was going through, every time I'm writing one of those stories, I'm hoping that I'm saying something that speaks to the heart of the richness of who we are, especially as the richness of Black women. Absolutely. So that their kids or their little boys won't be in the position I was in because their mom saw something that spoke to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, at Ebony, we're going into our 75th year, and we're really, really excited about that. Do you remember your first memory with Ebony?
I remember my first tour with Ebony in Chicago, walking through. Sylvia Flanagan was there at the time, and Ebony and Jet, and walking through and just marveling at what a Black man had done. Yeah.
And now you are that Black man.
Wow.
Isn't that exciting?
Yeah, pretty great.
We'll be celebrating our 75th this year, so we're looking forward to having you. And thank you.
Okay, thank you. Pleasure.